Let's spend some time on investing now. And this is also very fascinating that I'm talking to a doctor come angel investor. So this is going to be like a very fascinating thing in terms of like you've been a practitioner in the medical industry and also like an angel investor. And we also got to know that you had like an amazing relationship with Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who was one of India's most renowned investor, and like he has like made a name in the entire stock market ecosystem as well. How was your entire relationship with him to start off this conversation with, and what are like some 2-3 anecdotes or incidents that you recall with him?
So I owe a lot to Rakesh. I mean, the guy was remarkable. Very few people are like that because I mean, he was just full of stories, very down to earth, very grounded. Didn't bother about being politically correct. He was one of those guys who called a spade and didn't even care what anyone else did. So that was great. And he was a patient. So to that extent, it was fortunate. So there was a very deep relationship. In the sense, he said, Dr. Malpani, tum mere doctor ho. Whatever you say, I will trust. And then I reciprocated that trust. I said, boss, mujhe investing ke baare mein kuch nahi aata hai. I was the only non-family member whose portfolio he ran.
Oh.
And I asked him, why? He says, one thing I like about you, you don't ask me questions. You don't ask me, why did I buy Titan? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? You trust me implicitly. And I respect that. The reason I didn't ask is apne ko to kuch samajhta bhi nahi to kya puchne wala. But that's a different thing altogether. So I learned a lot from him. I think the one outstanding characteristic he had was curiosity. He was always learning. He was very, very well read. Everything was great. And that's a great thing about being an investor. There's actually a great book called The Last Liberal Art. And investing is the last liberal art because you have to learn about fintech. You have to learn about AI. You have to learn about supply chains. You have to learn how to read a balance sheet. You have to make sure the entrepreneur doesn't take you for a ride. Then it's not just theoretical knowledge for the sake of learning. You have to do it because, hey, guess what? It's a question of putting your money on the line. So lots of interest. And then I would hang out at his office, very close to my clinic. And then you learn a lot by being a fly on the wall and by osmosis and stuff. So that was blessed. And very long-term perspective, playing the long game, willing to be contrarian, lots of things. So I think that was very helpful.
So the relationship started when he was a patient. That's how it started.
He's got 3 kids.
Got it.
My kids.
And then like any interesting conversations you've had, like you remember a lot that, yeah, this was something which was very interesting.
So lots of times, people, he would appear on TV. He would say various things, which a lot of people would criticize him for. And I just loved the fact he said, this is what I think. And I'm not ashamed to say it. This is my opinion. And I have the courage of my convictions to be able. And the great thing about him was his consistency. It's not like he said one thing on 1 year, then he flipped his story the next year, or he flipped his story. So if you look at his Titan, that's just a great example. It was just, no, I believe in this and I'm just going to. The other great thing about him is very philanthropic. In the sense, boss, I have more than enough money. What do I do with my money? So he would donate to causes like Agastya. He would donate to hospitals because he had so much. He had the ability to write. That's also very, very inspiring. That, money is just that. What else do you do beyond it? So I think I learned a lot. And actually, thanks to him, then, what do I know about any of this? But thanks to him, then you get introduced to an entire circle of investors, the stock markets. So your horizon changes considerably. I think that's the fun bit about it. Then otherwise, what doctors talk to other doctors, accountants talk to other accountants, and they keep on complaining. That's standard, isn't it? Patients are idiots. This is this. The government is meddling, all that good stuff. Whereas then when you look at when you're an outsider in someone else's world, in that sense, you're a bit like an anthropologist, if you know what I'm saying. You're looking at the same world with a different lens. So you look at things very differently. You don't just focus on, this is my practice, this is my thing. What are other hospital chains doing? How are they doing it? What is cost of customer act? 50 different things, which are all foreign words. Doctors think they're very smart, but they're financially illiterate. You automatically have to acquire a little bit of that. So that was fun.
You said that there are like a lot of fake bankers and entrepreneurs have a lot of terrible experiences as well. Can you give some examples? What has happened?
No names.
Yeah.
But everyone is, you know what? I'll get this. I'll raise this funds. Then they'll do all this name dropping. I know Nitin Kamath. I know Motilal Oswal. I know this. I'll do the introduction. And then let's go out for a cup of coffee. They'll make the entrepreneur pay for the coffee and they'll give them all tall dreams and stuff. And then, we need to design a pitch. But your pitch is not very good. But I have someone who will design the pitch for you. But that's going to cost you 10,000. And then, we need to rehearse and that's going to cost you another 30,000. They act like leeches. And the trouble is, entrepreneurs are either naive, immature, or stupid. They just get carried away by that LinkedIn profile. They don't do any due diligence. Just like an investor does their due diligence on an entrepreneur, please do your due diligence on the investor also. There is no free lunch. Everything comes with strings attached. You should understand. The money I give comes with strings attached. Please understand. The difference is I'm very open about what I do. So everything we do openly, we build it. So we don't just tell our entrepreneurs. So Malpani Ventures has its own investment thesis. We share it. The important thing is then I have to walk my talk. The only thing I care about in my life at this point right now, Kushal, is my reputation. So if I say one thing and then do something else and then get called out, that'll be terrible for me. Whereas if I write stuff, then I have to say, this is what I said and this is what I'm going to do. So I think it's good. It's fun.
And like after having a very strong relationship with Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, like I'm sure like you would have also met other investors like Mr. Radhakishan Damani, etc.
Yeah. Again, remarkable guy. If you meet him on the street, you won't even realize he's one of India's richest men. Really. So he's not like these other billionaire celebrities who walk around with security guards and Maybach and stuff like that. So very, very sensible and very down to earth. And, I love the guy.
Any specific interesting conversations or stories you
I
have
think
with him?
what I love about him is even for DMart, he gave so much autonomy to Neville to run it, which I think is a big deal. And he had that vision that, okay, fine, this is initially all homegrown. Great example of a bootstrap. Now everyone will say, oh, but उसके लिए तो bootstrapping ठीक था, उसने तो stock market पे पैसा कम, सबने किधर तो भी पैसा कमाया ही है, तो everyone is bootstrapped. Yeah. But he used that. He didn't take the money prematurely. He didn't dilute. He didn't do anything else. So, and so strongly spiritual, so strongly religious, so strongly grounded. I mean, when you talk about ethics, that's the guy. Very, very close family ties. Most other families, how they are. They're completely dysfunctional. You have one patriarch and everyone else is chiller, pillar, and this. He doesn't do that at all.
Wow. This is something to learn from him.
Lots.
I was speaking to someone and someone was telling me that he's basically someone who is a very, very good listener. So for example, if there is a board meeting or any meeting where there are 10, 15 people, he'll make sure that he'll be the last person to speak and the first one to listen to all of them. Usually it's like if there is a senior person, he'll be the one who will speak in the meetings and he'll be the one who will lead.
You know what that's
meetings.
called, no, Kushal? It's called hippo syndrome, the highest paid person in the room. And that's typically what happens. And that typically happens in an IS bureaucratic office or a ministerial office. Because then once the minister says everyone who disagrees has to keep quiet and everyone agrees. So everything is, but I'll also tell you one thing, he listens, but he cuts to the chase.
Okay.
Then no BSing. Then, boss, these 4 things are not okay. You want to create a subsidiary, you want to do this. Don't give me all that. This is business, this is point A and this is point B. Show me how you're going to get to it. If it doesn't, go find someone else.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.